Hello there. So in the last video we saw what is the version control system and how Git handles the version controlling. Okay, and the version is nothing but the commits in the Git, and we saw an example such as this one where we can see that it has almost not almost, it has more than 9,000 commits in this repo, and whenever you open a specific commit, you can you will have access to the all the codes till that commit. All right, now okay, let's start with the fundamentals. So first thing we'll learn is uh, you know uh, setting up the first project. Okay, so let's do that. So I have created this directory. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, and let me also open it in a VS Code so that we can check the code side by side. Better thing would be to open the terminal right here, and let me keep it like this. All right, so yeah, now that we have this open, we can access the Git from here, so you can see that it's working fine. Now what we'll do, first we'll create projects. Let's add simply one file. I'll name it example.md. Let's create a markdown file where we can add some text. Okay, now now we are going to initialize this project Git examples with Git. And even before that, even before we initialize the project, first thing we have to do, username and the email of the user who is going to commit into this Git. All right, so for that, commands are like that there are two variants of command. One is global and another is the repository level. So let's see the global level command first. Okay, it's like git config, and you can provide global, then user.name. I think I can type, yeah, and like this you can provide your name. And similarly, okay, there was typo there itself, and again similarly you can provide an email like this. So some email @email.com, something like this you can provide. All right, now once you have set this up, okay, so for this project let's set a local Git configurations. So for local Git configuration, first we'll have to initialize the Git. So let's initialize it. For that, you simply have to type git init and type enter, and you can see that it initialized empty Git repository at this location. And once the Git is initialized, okay, you can see in the VS Code also, you can see there is, when we hover on it, you can see that it's showing like it's an untracked. So here, right? Okay, after hovering, you can see the tooltip that it's being shown there. We can see that it's an untracked. What is untracked? We'll come back to that later. But now here you can see there is something called as main, and there is a star along with it. So main is nothing but a branch name. So the default branch name is main. Earlier it used to be master, but later on it got changed, and now the main branch yeah, the main branch is the main branch itself. So all the stable code will be part of the main branch, and from this branch you create a different branch to work on a feature, and finally once that feature is completed you will come back and merge that branch back to the main branch. All right, so now that we have initialized the Git repo, you can check the Git status. Now Git status shows what is the status of all the files in the Git repository. Okay, so currently you can see here it shows untracked file example.md. All right, now before we proceed, let me explain you what is untracked file and why it is saying like use git add to track, etc, etc. So let's go back and see what is it. Let me quickly remove it. Okay. Now, so when we start working on the Git has 3 different areas. Okay, so let me change the color. Take black. So this is the first area, and okay, this is the second area, and this is the third area. Now the first area is called as working area. Okay, this is called as working area. Okay, my handwriting is not very good. Please bear with me. And the second area is called as staging area. And the last one is called the repository. So working area is nothing but whatever changes you have made in the current project, that will stay in the working area. This is nothing but untracked, which we saw here. So here you can see this is saying this is the untracked files. So example.md is currently untracked file, which is nothing but in the file is currently in the working area. Now from the working area we can move the file. First step is to move the file to the staging area. Okay, how do we move the working files from working area to staging area? There is a command git add. Okay, and then you can provide file name or a regular expression. Not all the regular expression. I'll tell you what all is accepted, and then once you add, it will be the changes will be moved from working area to the staging area. Now from the staging area, finally you will move the changes to the repository. And how do we do that? By committing the changes which is in the staging area. For that the command will be like git commit and then -m, and then you provide some message. All right, so let's see this in action. Okay, so, so before we see the actual working commands and code, let me tell you this repository, the final thing that we commit, that goes into the repository. So what happens after this goes into the repository, there this commit that we added, that becomes a version. So this commit is nothing but that version. Okay, so I'll simply add sample markdown file, right? And let's save it. Now if you click on it, you can add, see, using the VS Code. Now along with the git command, I'm also showing you how you can do the same thing with the VS Code as well, right? Most of the time you'll be using, if you're using the IDE like VS Code, you'll be using this instead of using git add. So currently if you check here git status, you'll see it turned green. Earlier it was red, now it shows in green text, and it says it changes to be committed. All right, changes to be committed, and here it was showing untracked file. So how did it come to this staging area? This is called staging area. When you see it says changes to be committed. All right, now let's unstage it and again check the git status here. So it came back to the working area again, and now if you want to add it to the stage, you can again type git add. Earlier we were using this VS code, and now we are doing with command line. So you can add git add, and if you press dot, if you provide dot, it will take everything from this location, you know, all the files and directory. And optionally you can provide the name of the file as well. So in our case it's example.md, so you can provide, and you can see here it got added here also, right? And now again if you check the git status, it will show you. See, so this is now in the staging area. Now that it is staging area, we can move it to the repository. And how do we move it to the repository? By simply by simply committing the change. How do we commit? We can provide commit git commit -m and then some message. So since this is our first message, you can provide, like, this is a standard like initial commit. Okay, and once you have provided the message, you can press enter and see. Okay, so here it says, say, please tell me who you are. Since we created this repository and we didn't provide a configuration, right? So it is asking me to either set a global configuration, or we can also set user level configuration. So I'm going to set a user level configuration. I'll set git config user.name. I'll provide my name Rajesh Kumar, and git config user.email, provide Rajesh teju90@gmail.com. all right, now that I have provided these details, now if I go ahead and commit, it will accept the commit. Okay, so let's hit enter. See, now the message we are getting, one file changed, one insertion, and created mode something like, right? And this is the commit hash. This is nothing but the commit hash, and this is the message. So this is done. Now why do we need to provide this configuration? Why do we need to provide this configuration? The reason for this is, whenever we commit some changes, all right, those commit contains the information about the author. So in this case, Rajesh Kumar is the author of this particular commit. All right, so this is also called git blame. All right, so if you want to see who committed this change, so you can simply go ahead and check the git log. Now what is git log? It will show you the logs of the git. So let's see what is that. So here you can see this was the commit. All right, this was the commit, and who did that commit? Rajesh did that commit. It also contains the date, all right, and time, and on which branch that commit was committed. All right, it was the main branch, and then the commit message. All right, so it will provide you all the information. All right, so this was the first step towards working with Git. All right.